up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going, Healthy Warrior Game?
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome to the dive bar of the IWC. Welcome to episode 1 of Wrestling on the Rocks. That's right. The boys are back in town.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah, I'm killing it today, dude. Today's a good day. It's me and the other half of the podcasting duo, the Ironics.
What's up, guys? It's been a while. A whole week. 2 weeks.
Yeah, Kevlar, we've been gone for a while, and I'm under the weather. This is going to be a good day. I got a new...
Up on plenty of NyQuil.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I got like this... actually, I'll tell you right now. Let's start with a little what's in your glass. What are you drinking? What I'm drinking is a little bit of the little Vicks tea, the honey lemon cough syrup drink with 2 shots of bourbon in there. It's sort of like a Vicks hot toddy.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Mixed toddy. Like
yeah. Little toddy there. What do you got? What are you drinking?
I'm drinking some good old peach crown and sweet tea. Peach tea.
Oh shit, that's North Carolina sweet tea right there.
It's very English day. We're drinking tea together. It's tea time.
It is. We're having tea time for the British. If the good bad wrestle guys pop through, I doubt it. Oh shit, I didn't even open up the chat. They might even be in there. Let's see here. It's only episode 1. Everyone, just relax, stay calm. If you are in the chat and have said anything in said chat, give me a second. You're gonna have to reset it. I have to log in here on the rocks. Should I say my password out loud? No.
Yeah.
I probably will.
5776.
Yeah. Kevlar, rocks.
Yeah.
All right. I have to prove that
Ironic,
I'm a robot.
For life.
Yeah, for life. All right, cool. Now, if you're in the chat and you said anything in said chat, say it again, because I have no idea what you said. Kev, for moments like this, I got us a new prop for the show.
Nice.
It is a ray gun. This is going to be good for us. It's going to be real good.
You're a regular Gene Belcher now.
Yeah, I'm like Gene Belcher now. I wrote this off on my taxes, dude. I'm serious. It's a work expense.
You only bought that so you could fart and blame it on the gun and producer lady won't get mad at you.
Dude, I did that yesterday and she got pissed. I did that. I said it was the gun and she said, "You're nowhere near the gun." I tried to say it was a malfunction. She agreed of a malfunction, but not the same malfunction. So
malfunction in the junction.
Yeah. So ironically enough, you're right on that one. Let me see here. If you heard that echo there for a bit, I think I fixed it. I just saw 2 audios coming in for you. So just in time in the chat. Cheers to the return of the dive bar and to the fart blaster. Hell yeah, dude. That's my guy. Just in time coming through. This is going to be fun. Oh, wait. Hey, Kev, say something now. Oh, cool. I can't hear you, but I think they can. I'm going to switch this over now. How about that? Say something now, Kev.
I'm still here.
There you go. Cool. Guys, it's only episode 1. Technical difficulties are bound to happen. Go ahead and have a drink. Technical difficulty, have a sip.
I'll drink to that.
No. Now, Kev, we have been gone for a while, so I don't remember all of like the news per se that's been going on. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't feel like there was anything that stood out to me as like, hey, this is news specifically. But maybe it's because I've been kind of in a bubble away from the news right now. I was doing a lot of traveling. We went to SmackDown Live last week, so if you're watching SmackDown on Friday, you saw me and Kevlar right behind Pat McAfee. Oh yeah, I was gonna do this too. I'm holding up the Pat McAfee pencil. Guys, this is legit the pencil that Pat McAfee had. Kev got it for me. You want to tell him,
Kev? Yeah. I mean, he threw it at Corbin.
Yeah.
Corbin kind of just threw it to the side and landed in the ring steps. And Yeah, one of the crewmen were lucky enough to grab it for us.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So I gave it to Marsh.
Yeah, because it was my birthday, so makes sense.
Happy birthday, here's a pencil.
Yeah, happy birthday. I got you a pencil. Maybe you can pass the test finally. Yeah, I'll be honest, the pencil is long and it's got very little erase marks. I think he just gets a new box of pencils every time.
Probably.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool. Let me see.
Just a little bummed it didn't say anything.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, like if it was, because he's the type of dude who might make custom pencils. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just times as we were laughing at you acting like a wacko. Oh, well, yeah. There was a moment or two they told me to stop. So what we found out as we're behind McAfee and he's cutting his promo and I'm like pointing at him like, this dude right here, this is the dude. After that segment, the guy next to me, if you notice in the red shirt, was like real up and big and doing crazy stuff. One of the stagehand guys came over and started talking to him, but kind of looked over at me too because like, hey, I was probably towing the line there. He goes, hey, it's cool to like laugh and clap and thumbs up, thumbs down, and they want you to be, into the show. He's like, but you know who's watching back there? He's like, he is watching, and he doesn't like that. I was like, he doesn't like the audience to be over-exaggerated in those kinds of shots because it's distracting, and it makes sense. It's a TV show. But, yeah, that's why after that I had a Vince McMahon shirt on. I was trying to win him back over. If you notice, I went between SmackDown ref shirt and Vince McMahon shirt. I thought if I could win him over,
I mean, we tried. We tried to be nice.
Yeah. I mean, I got the pencil, so you must be doing something right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it was a good time. Go ahead.
I wonder if there's ever been anyone that, like, after each commercial break, they change their shirt.
Dude, I thought about that.
10, 15 shirts. Really?
I definitely brought that up once. As we were getting ready to do the SmackDown show and the Tucson show when they came through, I told producer lady that I was considering bringing a shirt for everyone I had on that particular roster and switching in and out for every segment depending on who was on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it would be crazy, do but doable.
I've seen people do that at baseball games.
Really?
They'll change the jersey depending on which team's batting.
That's funny. I can see that. Let's see. I see Shakes in there, but I don't hear him. So,
hear me?
There you go.
You can hear me?
I can hear you now. Much like Sprint.
Is it well? Is it good? Do I have to start my?
I think you're good.
Over?
I think you're good, Kev. How's it sound like to you guys?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It's only episode 1, guys. We'll figure it out.
Hey, man, I'm with the famous Ironics, huh?
The legendary podcasting duo, Ironics.
First time, man. First time.
Don't encourage him.
Yeah.
I like it, though. I like it. Real quick, when they was doing that Iconics thing, I did not like it at all. I think Marsh probably knows me by now that some of those type of things I find corny and cheesy. So when they were doing it, I'm like, oh, I don't like it. But what I would say with it is it's memorable because I still remember it, and now I get to watch y'all imitate it, so it's pretty cool.
That's a good point. Because think about it. If in the future they were to make a return, as much as we didn't like the Iconics as an act in and of itself, if we're sitting there in a Royal Rumble hits and we hear like Iconics, we'd probably pop and go, oh shit!
Yeah.
I know who this is. I know what we're about to see, and I haven't seen it in a long time. That's a really good point. Like sometimes it doesn't matter how goofy you are as long as you're memorable.
Yeah, if it's bad but it gets ingrained in your brain.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, no, I could see that for sure. Let's see.
It's like bright as hell.
Yeah, Yeah, you're lit up today. Sometimes you're just like in the shadows, but today you're lit up.
Oh my god!
I like it though because it's got your necklace like really shimmying, like sparkling.
All right, cool.
But it's all good. We were just talking a little bit about SmackDown, Shakes. We were there. We were live. I don't know if you were watching the show, but me and Kevlar were right behind Pat McAfee. And now I think about it, we messed up, man. We should have both been wearing the Ironic shirts instead of the SmackDown shirt and the Drinking Buddy shirt. We should have been representing the duo.
That would have been memorable. We were just speaking about that.
Yeah. People would have looked it up. They said, what is this Ironics business?
What is this Ironics? would have been a phenomenon.
Could have been trending.
Yeah, we would.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Producer lady slipped me a note that's incredibly vague, just for the record. Team WES. Anybody know what WES is? I have no idea, but apparently they're not doing a show. It's a screenshot of. I have no idea what's going on. Hey, if anybody else has like vague tweets or messages, anything, slide that into the chat. We'll read it. It could be vague. Well, I guess it's something Nia Jax was a part of. Where the fuck are we? God. Like I'm live. Whatever. I'll figure it out later. Oh, wait, they had to cancel something with Nia Jax?
She had a podcast, something that she was going to do.
Oh, she was supposed to be on a show, and she's not going to be on the show. She was saying she was never paid or supposed to go, and that it's misleading. And they're saying she was paid in full, which theoretically, if you weren't going to pay somebody at all and you don't pay them, you've paid them in full, right? So it still checks out to me. That's exactly how much I would have paid her in full for an appearance or a meet and greet, realistically.
I mean, you're not off.
Yeah.
I don't know. Xbox joining in, calling them liars. So I don't know what to make of it.
Xbox saying they're also liars.
Well, he put a GIF. He didn't say it.
Yeah, he has Pinocchio. He has Pinocchio. I'm glad we're doing this live on the show. We didn't prep this at all prior, so this is good. No, point now. We can't skip it now. We're already in it.
It's live news.
We already
Breaking news. Live breaking news. Guess what we just broke wind on? Here, we caught wind of breaking news. Sorry. It's our new news segment. I have a fart gun now, Shakes. You'll be happy to know.
I like it. Memorable. Seems to be the word.
Yeah. He's like I said, it doesn't have to be good to be memorable. All right, guys. We've been gone for 2 weeks. A lot's been going on. A lot of build up to Money in the Bank. A lot of actual money in the bank. A lot of banked been moneyed. I think it was a really good build to Money in the Bank. I know I was saying this before. Let's talk about the big win. Let's not like put it off and talk about it when we get to it. We'll kind of we'll start hot and peter off towards the end, like I like to do most things. You know what I mean? So instead of building to a crescendo, we're gonna just dive right off. We've talked. Oh, Just in Time is a great idea. Call the new segment Full of Ish. Yeah, as we cover dirt sheet stuff, full of ish. Breaking. We were talking a lot about Liv Morgan being a favorite, people wanting Liv Morgan to win. And I have been saying for a while how much I wanted Liv Morgan to be screwed out of her title a couple more times. And only 6 more months, right? Well, not 6 more months, I guess realistically. It'd be another 4 on top of that. So we're talking about 10 months, so almost a year. So I'm saying basically 1 more year of screwing her over, making it look like she's lesser than in the eyes of the office, as it were, and get her to be the female Daniel Bryan. I think she was so close to that anyways. The crowd absolutely loves her, and for good reason. And I have no issue with any of that, obviously. Like, I think she's fantastic. But I was saying, if you screw over enough, by the time you get her to Mania for a title, you could blow the roof off the place, you know? That in mind, we're no longer there anymore. She wins the Money in the Bank. Someone pointed out, you'll have to tell me if you noticed it too, when Liv was coming out, she was kind of crying. She was trying not to cry, but she was kind of crying. And someone's like, oh, I knew right then she was going to win. But they said, but it also didn't take away from the moment when she won. So I went back and rewatched it, and you could definitely see it, and it's really cool. It's actually really nice. Like, when you rewatch it, it's really cool to see her that emotional about it. Like, go ahead, Shakes.
I kind of seen it. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
go ahead.
I kind of noticed it when I was watching it the first time. It made me think about that. Like, you know what? She deserves to win this money.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I can see that being the case. She came so close, right?
Yeah.
Like, she just kept coming close, and she could never win and just get over the hump. So this would, her winning the Money in the Bank. I thought that she would carry that mantra a little bit more, though. Mrs. Money in the Bank and all that. That would have been memorable. But the way she did it, though, it was Seth Rollins kinda ish, but even more like what was one of the four horsewomen. I can't remember her name right now. It's slipping my mind.
What? Charlotte?
Not Charlotte, not Sasha, not Becky.
You talking about Bailey? You forgot about Bailey?
There you go. There we go. Yes,
I'm gonna disconnect his ass right now.
My mind. Hey,
click.
Man, out of sight, out of mind, man. Out of sight, out of mind. I can't wait to see her though. But yes, Bailey, right? Like when Bailey cashed in the Money in the Bank, it was immediately, and so she did it in that form. So it was great to see. It was a great moment for Liv. Live in the Bank, they calling it, or something like that. Great shit.
Yeah. The only thing, like, I'm the same way. I didn't see her crying to come out, but I would have liked the build-up to be a little more, like Marsh was saying, just getting so close but not getting there. So the payoff would be bigger. And I just didn't like that. It seems like the women always cash in that night. They're very impatient.
Yep.
I think it was only Carmella that held it for more than 24 hours, right?
Carmella's the only one who's ever held it for longer than 24 hours, but there's something that's happening here with the women's Money in the Bank. So let's talk about that too. So like I was saying, I do think that you could build a crescendo to Liv that would blow an entire stadium out, because the fervor behind her was such that it would never die out. She is the female Dana Bryan in a lot of ways because of that. I saw a lot of people complaining about the idea of the women cash in every time, but what we are seeing almost always is a babyface win for the Money in the Bank on the women's side. The only exception, I think, being Alexa Bliss, who really was, what her design was to screw Ronda out of the title to give Ronda kind of a different kind of springboard into her championship run. Alexa was almost transitional in the build of Ronda. But outside of that, you're right, it's only been babyfaces. Babyfaces, traditionally with the Money in the Bank, either call their shots or try to do it in a noble way, right? It's really tough to be a babyface with the Money in the Bank because it's inherently an asshole move, right? I'm going to take advantage of you. There's no way around it. You're kind of an asshole unless like how John Cena did the one time, I'll see you at the pay-per-view in 2 months. Or Braun Strowman, I'll see you at the pay-per-view. And it always lands a little flat when they do it that way too. So there's like this balance of being predictable, being a good guy, taking advantage of the opportunity versus taking advantage of a weaker person, Let me see in the chat real quick. If the whole thing about, no, I'll get back to that. Liv was on the bump, and they asked what makes her a different champ, different than Charlotte or Ronda. She replied, "The people want me to be champ," which is so big. And that's what I was going to say is that as much as I wanted the build towards Mania, this moment was still so special. This feels on par with the Bayley win. Go ahead, Shakes.
No, you can tell that it was special by the reaction of the fans.
Yes.
Came down, it was a big pop, right?
Yep.
And of course that's expected, but you probably wouldn't get that if he would have did the John Cena like you said. So you wouldn't get that type of roar and pop. So that was what. But what my point was, when Ronda then turned around and had her in the ankle lock.
Yep.
And then it slipped.
Yep.
And she still was laying there for her to go ahead and pick it back up. That was what I was laughing at. But she got her in the ankle lock again, and then you can hear some of the boos, like boo.
Yeah.
And then once you know, she kicked that. Yeah, she kicked out of it, and then she did a thing, and it was just a big old pop. So yeah, it's a better reaction when you do it that way. But go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ken.
No, you're good. The thing that with that is, I think they just wanted to cast a little bit of doubt. Obviously,
yes.
Because if Ronda didn't drop her leg, and make it look all stupid like that, it would have been, it would have been better if, because it would have casted the doubt. Sorry, losing my train of thought here.
No.
It would, you're doubting that Liv's actually going to cash in. Ronda's going to keep the title and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, she gets out. So I think that helped with the pop as well.
And I even think with the slipping of the foot, it helped too, because I think that the idea is like Ronda's got it on. Oh God, no, we're not going to get this moment, right? And then she drops the foot, and you're all like, oh great, Liv's getting out of it, but she doesn't, and then she locks it back in the second time. You're all like, oh, that's it, we're double fucked. There's no way now. She waited because she knows she's supposed to tap out on the ankle lock. Like it fed into the smart mark mentality of oh shit, and then when Liv turned it around, it was, oh shit, here we go, as the infamous Bishop used to say. I think that with as special as a WrestleMania win could have been, I don't think that this was any less of a shine. And what I think is interesting, the amount of people who are saying that women cashing in the same night or next night, like Kev said, they seem really impatient. They've also got a smaller window of years. We've got 6 years since they've been doing it. It's off the top of my head. I didn't look at anything. I don't remember, but I think I've seen about 6 winners. And Carmella counts twice, so who knows? I think that with a smaller window, people are looking at it with the same scope as they look at the men's. Right? We've seen CM Punk win it. We've seen Daniel Bryan win it. We saw Sheamus win it. We saw people win it like Dolph Ziggler and Edge, where they were on the cusp of something greater, but just weren't quite there, and were kind of under the thumb kind of a deal. But we've also seen Brock Lesnar win it. We've seen John Cena win it. We've seen people who had no business needing to win it. Right? Miz has won it twice. Oh wait, no, he didn't. He won it once and then stole it from Otis. What a dick. Boo! You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that I think we look at it in a different scope than we should. So, and I apologize with my sick brain and rum in me. I'm also on the same boat as Kevlar over there, is getting a little scatterbrained. But if I can harness this train of thought into, people are thinking of the win and the cash-in as a story. They're not thinking of the character as a story. And they're missing the point. I saw a lot of people saying there's no story when someone wins and cashes it in. Except for if a babyface wins and they've been the underdog. They're already on their toes. Their adrenaline's already up. Just from like a kayfabe perspective, their adrenaline's up. They have it in their hands. I could do this whenever I want. They're watching every move the champion makes because I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And then, oh my God, this is my moment, I'm going to, right? From a kayfabe stance. It's an underdog who's never been given the opportunity. Now the opportunity's in their hands. Same night makes sense in that regard. What we're neglecting when we say there's no story between the same night cash-in is Liv Morgan's been in this company like 6 or 7 years. She was You Only Live Once in NXT and had like 3 matches on NXT TV. They never even put her on TV much. Then she started getting together with Ruby Riott towards the end of her NXT run. Or no, not even at that. She popped up in Riott Squad, and that was the first time we saw them together. Riott Squad came out of nowhere. But you have Riott Squad Liv, who was the juvenile delinquent of the Riott Squad of the WWE. Ruby was the favorite. On commentary, Ruby's going to be the women's champion one day, mark my words. Liv Morgan, WWE's juvenile delinquent, she's dismissed in it. You know what I mean? Like, people didn't even realize that Sarah Logan at the time, they said, oh, she what she does may not be pretty, but it's highly effective. She's a force. Don't get me wrong. And then when Liv would come in, here's the juvenile delinquent of WWE. She's been an underdog from the beginning, even in her own group that was trying to help her. She breaks away, gets back in. She's trying to find herself. She does that weird thing with the bathtub. She cuts that awful weird promo where she's like, I don't know, I'm just trying to, like, I don't know, figure it out, I guess, maybe. I don't know. And you're like, what the fuck is this? We've been watching the growth of Liv Morgan this whole way. We saw Charlotte Flair just beat the shit out of Liv. And then Liv getting on the mic and saying, when I come back, you're going to see the real me. When she came back as the real me had no idea who the fuck she was. She goes, now that I'm here, I don't know what I'm doing. It was incredible to watch this, almost this beautiful disaster, right? You take all those years into finally getting the groundswell behind her, having good matches, bad matches, to this moment, and don't negate that this moment was anything less than 6 years of hard work and getting the crowd on her side. You know what I mean? Fabtina in the chat, she was also beat the hell out of by Brie Bella. She got knocked the fuck out, dude. Took a stiff one to the mouth. A la Clump. But what I'm saying is this moment was not lesser than it would have been at Mania necessarily, because at this point, how much of that, as they say, riding the edge of a lightning bolt can you do? The crowd was behind her. They were at a fever pitch. Like you said, Shakes, that was one of the biggest pops of the night, her winning. Yep. And then it was only topped by her winning again. This is what people wanted. You know what I mean? So I'm able to admit when I'm not 100% wrong, but I'm definitely not wrong on this one. It still would have been great at Mania.
And I'm sorry, but like even the next night, and not to jump too much ahead, but the next night when she was doing her opening and her promo, you know, usually when they get to that "you deserve it" chant, they lead up to that. The wrestler lead up to that. She ain't need no lead up to it. Like soon as she start talking on the mic, they were like, "You deserve it." Yeah, you deserve it.
The crowd was waiting to love on her.
She did. Yeah. She did. She deserved it.
The crowd was anxiously awaiting her to tell her how much they cared. Like, it was awesome. So, yeah. I think that anyone who's trying to discount a same-night cash-in in this particular instance, I will say that me and Kev, I think, are on the same page. Love to see a longer Money in the Bank holder.
Yeah.
This one didn't have to be it.
No. I'm just saying in general.
Yes.
Like when you look at the whole picture, like
and when
women.
you talk about the females, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of dreadful to talk about the men's.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I know.
Kev, what were you saying?
No, just that I was talking like on the whole picture of all the women Money in the Bank winners. Like, I think there's only been one that held it, like I said, for more than 24 hours, and I just want more. Yeah, I just want more, like a longer. Like tenure with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you can do a lot of great shit with it. Look at Brock in the Bank. Brock was a bad guy and called his shot, but he also Brock winning Money in the Bank was one of those. If you pay attention to the idiocy of the IWC, which is who we represent truly as the dive bar of the IWC, we are nothing less than the idiocy of it all. Sorry, I just got a comment we'll read here, but it made me think. So, as we talk about the absolute idiocy of the IWC, which is what we truly represent here as drunks on YouTube, when Brock won the Money in the Bank, it was almost the final straw. Fuck this guy. He fucked over Mustafa Ali for the last goddamn time. That was supposed to be his big comeback after he got fucked over from the Elimination Chamber. Kofi Mania was really the rug being pulled out from under Ali. You remember? I was all there. And it was kind of like Brock wasn't even in the match. Ali's on top about to win it. He comes out, takes it. Who the fuck is this guy? He doesn't need it. Brock literally shows up once every 4 or 5 months and says, I'll take that title. And they say, yes, sir, please have another. You know, people were pissed. But then Brock goes out there, Brock Party, starts dancing with it, starts fighting with Paul Heyman about how the contract even works. Which that was the beginning of the babyface turn of Brock Lesnar, mark my words. That was the moment people said, oh my God, I love Brock Lesnar. And every moment before that, they didn't. This was the moment we got to see, quote, for the first time, we're finally seeing some personality from Brock Lesnar. I don't think that's the case. I just think you're finally seeing the aspect of his personality that he wanted you to see in the time that he wanted you to see it, because he wanted you to want to see it. I think Brock is an absolute brilliant performer and businessman. But where's my Pat McAfee pencil for that one? But I don't remember the second part of that. Shake's thoughts? Just Time says the Money in the Bank match Brock won is legit the best and worst at the same time. 100%. And I think that's when we start to like split hairs about, oh, could they have done more? Could they have done less? Something else. Bishop in the chat from old TW Takes podcast, retired but not forgotten. I got my TW Takes Cheers. Coaster right here. Cheers to you. This one's wine stained because I've been using it for my D&D nights, and I love it. He says, I thought the women's Money in the Bank match was the best AEW match I've ever seen. Upon clarification, he was saying that a lot of people were saying that women's ladder match sucked, and I want to get you guys' opinions on that, because this is also a secondary thing. Shotzi Blackheart deactivated her Twitter because after she had botched a move, they said that she got a lot of shit online. She said that she was even laughing in the back, saying, well, I guess that's going to show up on Botchamania, but was feeling overall good about the show because at the end of the day, the three most important things about being in a wrestling match is, did anyone get hurt? Did everyone have fun? And did people care? And she felt like they checked all those boxes, right? Not that someone should be hurt. As long as nobody was hurt, that's a check box. Did I break someone's leg? Good. Check. He said that people say women's ladder match sucked. I compared it to an AEW match and thought it was the best of one of those. Realistically, yeah, it's better than a lot of... I mean, we don't have to say we like something by saying that something else sucks. So I don't think I'll dive so much into that particular narrative so much as I understand where he's coming from and I get it. I rewatched that match today specifically because of Shotzi. I want to know what you guys thought of it because I've been talking for a long time, and then I'll be able to say what I felt when I rewatched and saw and focused on Shotzi. I'm going to start with Kevlar, and we'll go to Shakes. Kevlar, what did you think of the women's Money in the Bank match as you saw it live? Because I don't think you've rewatched it, right?
No, I've only watched it once. I thought it was good. I mean, just like anything else, you know, we've seen years and years of ladder matches.
Yeah.
You know, with men, so that almost becomes the standard, and anything below that, I think people, you know, oh, this sucked. But when you watch it, I didn't have any complaints. I saw a botch here and there, but that's what happens when you have 6 people in ladders. It's going to happen.
That's ultimately how I felt about it, and then I want to hear from Shakes, but ultimately when I rewatched it, I felt like that Shotzi's botches was just clunky behavior with a ladder and not... It didn't look like... It wasn't like where you see someone sell something where someone's nowhere near. It was like, God damn, ladders are hard to move. Man, hitting this ladder fucking hurts. Like, it was a whole lot of mess that looked like you'd imagine a fight that involved ladders would be in real life. It looked less choreographed than any other match because it was messy in that way. And I think that these tables, ladders, chairs matches need to look less choreographed to be more believable. And I felt that Shotzi brought a lot of that there. You could tell she was trying. She was going for this and that. Anytime she slipped or whatnot, she recovered, and the other person didn't look way off because they were also selling being hit by a goddamn weapon. Like, I thought it actually was fantastic the way that it was. I felt like all the, quote, botches made it more believable because it was like, man, this is a tough match. This is hard. You know what I mean? And other times you see ladder matches, you go, oh, how beautiful it is that they do these flips and these orders. Like, I've never felt as about what I'm about to say contradicts what I just said about of not comparing two things. I've never felt in a single Young Bucks ladder match what I felt in this match, which was, man, this is tough on these guys. In Young Bucks matches, they're too pretty. They're so pretty. They're very talented at what they do. And it looks that way. And it looks seamless. And you go, I think I could flip off of one of those. It looks pretty nice and cush, right? This looked brutal. And it looked tough. And Shotzi had blood on her face but hit the back of her head. I don't know what happened. Shakes, what did you think of this whole thing?
I think what you're alluding to is a crazy zone that I don't know if it's easy to really get into that zone. And what I mean by that is, like you're saying, that there were accidents that happened that made it look like reality. It wasn't accidents that was happening that made it look sloppy, where you were like, oh my gosh, what are they doing in this match? This is horrible. No, it was mess ups that you would say, you know what, if I was in that match, I probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? It was reality mess ups. Yeah. It was like human error mess ups. It wasn't like sloppy. And then what you were saying about the Young Bucks and that aspect of, you know, it wasn't so perfect. It wasn't so like, oh my gosh, it was scripted. It was supposed to, oh, he laid on that table. Oh, he's supposed to get swanton bombed on that moment. It was supposed to look that pretty. It wasn't that, what you're saying. So yeah, it was a zone that they were in that I don't think a lot of people can actually, or a lot of wrestlers can actually get into.
Not on purpose.
For me, yeah, exactly. Like that's something that you can't do on purpose and you can't do on accident, really. Like, you know what I mean? It's just something natural that they were going through. So,
and that's brilliant too. Yeah, it's the idea of like the recovery. I've made a mistake, but what do I do next? And the recovery is what's going to do that. So keep going.
Yeah. So, that was what's beautiful about the match. And yes, I think that match was better than the men's match. I was very entertained in that match. I seen a lot of things that I was like, ooh, especially for women, like for women to take these bumps. I'm like, ooh. I mean, as a man, I'm like, ouch. So I can only imagine as a woman, you know. So yeah, I was very entertained.
There were more moments in that match where I went, oh fuck, than almost any match that night. There were other times I saw a lot of stuff, especially in the men's match, where I went, nice, well done, you know. Because we're smart idiots. We know what's going on and how to do it. But watching the women's one, there was a lot. They did a lot, man. They did a lot. In the chat, we have Taekwon Mills saying hello. Not familiar with him, but cheers to you. What's in your glass, Taekwon?
Cheers.
He's laughing at smart idiots. That's us, dude. We're the smartest idiots on the internet. Get up. Get on our level. Get this stupid. Yeah. I don't know that I have a lot else to say about the women's match specifically. I'm very happy Liv won. I do think, because you're always partial to your own bookings and your own fantasy bookings, I do think you did have that moment where you could have had Becky screw out Liv, and you could have built to like a Becky Liv at Mania moment. I don't know if Becky needs to keep going to Mania to lose, but you could have had a Liv winning in the Mania after Becky screwed her out of so much, because Becky screwed her in the fucking back and forth they had before. Remember they had the Liv girl and the Becky girl going back and forth? You had a moment where you could have escalated to that Daniel Bryan level, like I said, for Mania, but at the same time, I only say that to say that it's because I'm the smartest stupid guy. No, I'm only saying that because like I think that the moment was there, and that's what I was on the edge for. I was like, are we doing it? Are we doing it? When they cashed in on Liv and said all our chips are on Liv, it didn't deflate me. And I think that's an important bit. Sometimes your fantasy booking is so good in your own mind that if you see anything else, it's not as good. This was all like, I would have gone the other way. This is a beautiful moment. And I don't think anyone should take that away. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that just the internet wrestling community as a whole. They always get upset when things don't happen their way, and then they call it garbage or last minute changes, and just fucking enjoy it.
Yeah, just enjoy it. And go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I kind of want to see Liv versus Bliss, Alexa Bliss. They
had a match on Raw last week.
But I want a war, right? For that title. I want a war. Because look, like, for one, right, I want Bliss to go back to evil Bliss. Not Bray Wyatt evil Bliss, but the conniving Bliss that she always turned on her friends. She was like the Kevin Owens of the females. Like, she just, every time she gets close to a friend, she turns on them every time. And I think that they got close. They was looking like a good tag team and all that. And I think, she just, congratulated her and then stick the knife in her back.
They're on different brands now.
Oh, man, I can't stand this. I can't stand it because I'm confused on what. Like, no, for real. All right, so let me ask you real quick, just off note, right? I thought, is the Intercontinental title and the U.S. title on the same brand? Because I seen both of them on Monday Night Raw the last.
No, they're on different brands, but seems like the last couple of months they've just kind of muddled everything together.
What I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, they just integrating everything, man. It's like, I mean, what is the point?
Yeah.
Are you saying what's the point of the brand split at this point? Is that what you're asking? Did I miss a beat there? Kev, are you there? Do you hear me?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Is that what he was saying? What's the point of the brand split?
Yeah, I think so.
I saw a lot of people talk about that too. We can move over towards that. Sorry, I got a few messages here. Taekwon said, "At least you guys aren't believing Buff Bagwell's Twitter. That was real stupid." Dude, I don't know if people know this except for me and Kev, but Twitter's not real. Like, none of it is real. And then he goes, "That's a good point about fantasy booking ruining expectations. Fantasy booking is what ruined Theory winning for me. I wanted Seth to win, but I came around on Theory winning." And we'll talk about that when we get there. I guess we'll. Here's the other deal. Today, because we've been gone for 2 weeks, we are not going through every show and doing a full-on recap and review of everything that's going on like we like to do sometimes. This one is just strictly about the conversation of three drinking buddies. Although, Shakes, are you having a drink tonight?
No, 2 drinking buddies and a smoker.
And a smoker. You're allowed to puff on camera. You don't have to black out for that if you don't want to. But, there's no different. Also, Clump will have cigars on here sometimes. I'm not allowed to. Producer lady is mean to me.
I've seen it.
Yeah, you've seen it. I would, except producer lady bullies me a lot, so I'm not allowed to. But... yeah, it's life, man. That's how it goes. Ebbs and flows, right? But yeah, don't worry about that. Literally no judgment here. I used to work on Xbox Podcast. You think I have a problem with any of that? But we're just gonna be talking about what we want to talk about today for a couple of hours. Just a couple of friends hanging out, and that's the idea. That's what the dive bar of the IWC is. Just a few people talking about wrestling, hopefully disagreeing enough to make it interesting, but also being friends enough to know that it's cool. We'll just have another round, you know. But so that was another thing too. People talking about the brand split. You know, you have Liv Morgan go on to Raw, open up the second hour talking about we did it. You are in this with me. The super babyface promo. I even saw a friend of mine, Jimmy Corderas, put on his ref and rant. Check him out at the Jimmy Corderas on Twitter. He didn't like that she came out on Raw because she's a SmackDown Women's Champion. You kind of deflated the moment when she shows up on SmackDown by putting her on Raw as SmackDown Champion. But I thought that at first, and I was surprised to see her. However, as friend of the show, Sam Roberts says. I think that what was nice about it was this moment. It was Raw that got her to the top. She was floundering in SmackDown. She even was going out there saying SmackDown Live and didn't show up for weeks and weeks and weeks. We even saw the Live Forever Chronicle documentary about her that shows that she was supposed to debut, and literally seconds before going out there, they said, never mind, it's been scrapped. And she looks at them and goes, no, are you serious? No. She's been struggling in SmackDown forever. She gets to Raw, and she's flourishing. She's having banger after banger. People keep saying how much better she's doing. I thought this was nice because it gave back to, theoretically, the fans that took her there, right? They went back to Raw, back to the same stage, the fans of Raw, which, I mean, let's be honest, in a non-kayfabe sense, the same Chicago town for SmackDown or Raw has the same exact people in the seats. But something about, well, this one's San Diego, so let me just say San Diego, because
Vegas and San Diego.
Vegas and San Diego. But, like, for the San Diego crowd. Born in San Diego, so I'm going to talk about my hometown. If you have a Raw in San Diego, the same people are showing up if you have a SmackDown in San Diego. So it is the same fan base, but it isn't the same backdrop. And this was her giving thanks and giving the moment to that same backdrop that took her to the top. I won't forget you guys. You guys got me here. We're in this together. I'm going to have to go to Friday nights. You know what I mean? And so I appreciated that moment because of that. Taekwon says brand split exists in name only. Go ahead, Kev.
Oh.
No, I had a clump in my throat. That wasn't you.
No, but now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, if they geared that promo like that, like, hey, you know, more of a thank you and, like, you know, hey, you know, this, you know, Raw helped me out, even saying, you know, quote unquote goodbye to her friends on Raw, you know, but I'm going to SmackDown, you know, I think it would have been cool. And yeah, I just want either 100% brand split or just fucking scrap it all together. Before there was the wild card rule and stuff. Just getting so hard to keep track on who's actually where.
Right.
I think go ahead, Shakes. I want to hear you.
Well, my thing, when she did the promo, even though she didn't specifically do it the way y'all are saying she should have done it, but the fact that, of course, they all do it, you know, that cheesy babyface thing. I kind of hate it, but I kind of understand, and especially in this situation, I understood. And she was like, you know, no, we deserved it. You know, like she made that clear first. Like, no, yeah. We deserved it. You know what I'm saying? When they was saying that you deserved it, she said, no, we deserved it. So she was paying that homage to them that, you know, y'all stuck with me to do this whole thing. And it's our title. You know what I mean? It's our title. Y'all the ones that got me to this point. So she definitely did pay the homage that she should have had. And sometimes it comes very, very cheesy. In this moment, I was like, yeah, it was right.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And
go ahead.
I was also gonna wonder, you know, ask you guys, where do you think Ronda goes from here? Now, you know, she's been cashed in on twice. Do you think this is the end of Ronda?
No, I think she'd probably be gone for like a month and then come back at SummerSlam. So. And you probably won't see her for a few, because, you know, I mean, it does look like she a little banged up, and then, you know, she probably want to have a little Miami time, you know. But once SummerSlam comes back, I think she'd probably come back and do something. So that's my assumption.
All right. I think, well, for one, as long as Just in Time's still listening, if he's still hanging with us, having a drink, I want to know specifically from you, Just in Time. You had mentioned before about about Ronda wanting to drop the title to Liv. So if you could expand on that a little bit in the chat so I can understand a little bit more clearly what you had read, because like I had mentioned before, we've been a little off radar because of the week as it stood. So throw that in the chat if you're still around. Otherwise, I'm just going to speculate the way I normally would. My thought is that Ronda does want time off or away. This was not anywhere near what her last run was like. This has not been received the same way. And I looked at it in a twofold way. Maybe threefold. I don't know how many folds. We'll have to check. But if this is how she kind of wanted to go out, if she wants to figure out how to go out, she had a fantastic match against Natty. Natalya Neidhart is one of her trainers and closest friends. Like, why wouldn't she? That sounds amazing. For her to be able to put over Liv on the way up, fantastic. The only thing I would say that would make the ending of her career any different or more special to me, especially like you said with SummerSlam, if she were to cut some sort of "that's it, I'm going" promo and be interrupted by Becky, and have that one-on-one Becky Ronda SummerSlam, and that be her finale, and put over Becky on her way out, because Becky's also on her way up, right? As we get to there, Becky finally beat Asuka. Becky's almost never beat Asuka. Asuka's Becky's greatest foil. That's what makes it so important when Asuka shows up and gets in Becky's face. Becky doesn't have Asuka's number. It's the other way around. And so it makes Asuka more important than Charlotte as far as feuds go. Because the Charlotte feud was all about how Charlotte was in Becky's way, but not how Becky didn't have Charlotte's number. Asuka's got Charlotte's number, or Asuka's got Becky's number. So Becky's on the come up, realistically. So for her to be able to get a win over Asuka, if she could get a solid win over Ronda, we could see Becky rebuilding her status and seeing where that ultimately goes. That's my thought on Ronda.
I kind of like. I still got my hope for this heel turn, man.
For who?
Heel turn by Ronda Rousey. Sits there with the heel turn. She beats up Liv Morgan and SummerSlam, and she makes the group with Natalya and Baszler, and they like the new Heart Foundation. That's what I see, man. I'm trying to say, man. This would be awesome.
I think it would be awesome, but I think that there's we've already gotten to a run where we've lost a lot of special on Ronda. How much more special do you want to lose on Ronda? If she's part of a different faction, you know what I mean? She's just another face in the crowd. Do we want Ronda to blend in as much as she has been, or do we want her to be a marquee name?
If she's the leader, of this group, and she's like the Bret Hart of females, right?
All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're Flair and the.
Just think about it. You know what I'm saying? Just think about it. Yeah,
like
man.
Flair didn't lose anything by being in the Horsemen.
I'm telling you, man, it can work, man. And
good.
Look. Not only that, it would build up her character, right? But it will also minimize her workload, right? So she can be in a mommy mode. She can have a little mommy time sometimes, but still, you know, she's a main character and a main player. And
no, I got you. I hear you. Twyquan's in the chat. He says Ronda either returns later this year or Mania season. Go ahead.
It is WWE.
Oh, Bruce Pritchard's a friend of the show. He listens all the time. There's no doubt about it. He's a drinking buddy for sure, through and through. That guy likes drinks. He likes wrestling. He's one of ours. Taekwon also says, I speculate that we're getting one-on-one Becky and Ronda maybe next year Mania. I feel like they'll want to promote that as a Mania rematch. I could see that, but I don't think that the fervor's behind it anymore. And that's why I think you could do a SummerSlam and be done. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see a build of Ronda and Becky to any coming Mania feeling anywhere near as important as Becky and almost anyone else on the roster right now. To be honest, like, you could do good stuff with it, but I don't think it's a Mania level match. I think Becky Bayley, Becky Liv, if we get Sasha or Naomi back, either of them, I think Alexa, I think any of them would be equal to or greater than build than Becky Ronda. Not that there's not enough on the table, but I just don't see it being as important on the table as it stands to need to be a Mania.
They can build it. If you build it,
Yeah. That's a good point. Let's see. What else? The men's match you wanted to talk about. I'm ready to talk about the men's match if you are. Oh, let me say this. As long as we're talking Becky anyways, let's talk a little bit about Becky on Raw. Becky finally beats Asuka, and she even screams, "I'm back, baby!"
yeah.
Becky's story with Asuka... You say what?
It was smart with the umbrella.
So smart.
Because Asuka always catches her with that.
Yes.
So to be like, you know what? I'm a step ahead this time and have the umbrella to block it. It's just showing that the growth and the development that she's having in the ring. You know, like, okay, you know what I mean? You fool me once, shame on me. You fool me twice, you know what I mean? You can't get me a third time, man. Come on.
Yeah. I think that, Rumble 2019, Asuka won clean, no missed with a submission. I do think that there's a parallel of Asuka's character growth against Becky's character growth. Here's the thing that I think is the most fun about Asuka's character in relation to Becky specifically. Asuka's character continues to grow in more and more ways to thwart Becky. Asuka seems to have zero motivation to hate Becky, but loves beating her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it is such a weird motivation for a character. She's got, like, none. She never seems to hate her. She makes fun of Becky when she's doing poorly. She celebrates Becky when she's doing well. And it's this weird, like, nanny boo-boo kind of character to Becky. So I think Becky getting that win was huge for the Becky character because I can't think of a single time she beat Asuka. She may have once or twice, but
it's not memorable.
Yeah, and largely speaking, Asuka's the one who's going to beat Becky. Where when you see Becky and Charlotte, it's pretty much shoo-in. Becky's going to win that match. You know what I mean? Becky's got Charlotte's number. Charlotte's in that place because, as far as kayfabe goes, Charlotte's in that place because of the powers that be. Charlotte Flair. Asuka's in that place because she just wants to bring Becky down. And Becky can't get over the Asuka, but can definitely get through Charlotte. So for me, it was really big. I think it was so big that people aren't even going to notice it. Her screaming, "I'm back, baby," was character development, literally happening on screen, and people are not going to notice that. Because I don't think they realize that as much as they think that Charlotte is Becky's greatest adversary, truly the biggest issue she's ever had has been against Asuka. And if she's finally able to figure out Asuka, like you said, growing that way, it gives her something to go for. You got something?
I'm sorry if I'm cutting you off, Captain.
Go ahead.
But it's just the monkey, like, you know, when you get that monkey off your back, and you know, you don't really hate that thing. You actually, in all, you respect it. Like, for example, right? Like, I played ball, right? And when I was young, of course. Mm-hmm. But they were always somebody, you know, I was somebody that they always talked about, where they talked about this other dude. You know what I'm saying? And like, oh yeah, that guy's good too, or whatever. So it was always an adversary, right? And so, you know, we'll go against each other, and you know, he dropped 25, I dropped 30. Or he dropped 26, and I got dropped 27, right? Mm-hmm. It's always a one-upsmanship. And I don't hate that guy. I actually respect him. You know what I'm saying? It's like a bird in magic. You know what I'm saying? I actually respect that guy. And I actually want him to do good because it makes me want to do better. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
So, and
push
that's,
each other.
I think, and I think that's what Becky has with Asuka. She don't hate her. She actually kind of respects her. But beating her is getting that monkey off her back.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just, in all sports, there's just some teams or, individual fighters, if you will, in UFC or whatever, that they're just a bad matchup. And they, for whatever reason, they can always beat the other person. And, like Shake said, getting the monkey off the back, it's like, finally she gets over on Asuka and, it's on to the next. Like, all right, I finally, conquered that.
Right.
Let's go.
I'm at the top of my level now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this victory was huge for Becky, and I think that it's going under the radar. Although Taekwon does say Becky beat Asuka at Rumble 2020, people forget they had Rumble back to back. He did say he's feeling the faction idea since it would lighten the workload. If she's in a faction, that means she won't have to cut all the promos. Okay. And then he goes, yeah. And then he goes, speculate to get into, yeah. Yeah, they did have those matches, and Becky has beaten Asuka before, but it's so few and far between.
But even just, recently, like, there's, like, Asuka just has been dominating Becky recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And for, where they're at now and where they're at storyline-wise and all that, yeah, it's, I'm back, and Becky's lost, quite a few in a row.
Mm-hmm. She won one against Asuka. They had the get into the match. They had like 2 or 3 with Asuka. Asuka won the first one, then Becky won the second one. But this one, Asuka was pushed to use the mist, and she still won. And so, I think that's a notable thing too. I pushed Asuka to her limits and beat her. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Kev.
No, you got it.
So yeah, it's not that she's never beat Asuka. She's beat Asuka like twice. And Asuka's beat her like a dozen times.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. But it's not memorable.
Yep.
But I'm also saying not even just Asuka. Like, Becky's been on.
Just
like if you look at it, like her last 10 matches, she's probably like 8-2.
Yeah.
Like it seems like she's lost a few, won one, and then lost a few more, and
right.
So yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Asuka dominated the series. Yeah. She's dominated.
For sure. Well, then let's talk a little bit about the men's Rumble. Not Rumble. Money in the Bank. Dude, I love the Royal Rumble.
Y'all hard, boy, I tell you.
So Adam Pearce announces at the very end he's going to make this an 8-man Money in the Bank. Raises the stakes by putting Theory in after Theory lost. What I thought was actually a fantastic match against Bobby Lashley.
Yes. I'm glad Bobby Lashley won.
Yeah. Dude, Bobby is so fucking over, dude.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. Like, you know what I mean? He's the almighty. You know what I mean? And it was right that he has to have a belt with him. I believe he has to have a belt. Now, my thing is, yeah, you put the belt on him, that's fine. But what they did was have Theory really push him to the limit that I ain't really see a lot of people push Lashley to. I was like, whoa. Yeah, I was like, all right. I was impressed. Yeah. But then I wasn't impressed by this next segment that we're going to talk about.
Go ahead.
That Money in the Bank, man, that is trash, man. That whole thing was trash from the beginning to the end. You come out and you talking about, it was another entry and it's an 8 entry and it's him. Like, I mean, now, if it was an 8 entry, that's fine. You know, even I was still like, oh, come on, man. With the 8, I'm like, okay, whatever. But if it was an 8, that had been somebody that was like, would blow the roof off. Let it have been The Rock or
Cena.
or Cena. I would even accept Cena, and I don't like Cena, but then it had blew the roof off, man. It said, "Oh, Theory." I'm like, huh? Okay.
But see, I think, but that was all intentional. Like, we just had the high of Liv winning, and everyone's excited and stuff like that. So then when Pierce comes out and says there's an 8, everyone's expecting a big return or, somebody. Yeah. And then it's like, hey, it's Vince's protege, Theory, this and that. Like, yeah. I think, like, I don't like it, but I think that's the whole point of it.
I get it. It's so horrible. And the pushing of him is like, oh, he's like the evil John Cena. Like, oh my, like, please stop. Like, this is getting ridiculous, man. And he's like a spoiled kid. Like, that just gets his way. Like, oh, you lose a belt? Don't worry, son. Go out there and go for the heavyweight title. Like, what is this? This is terrible.
But do you know who exactly that's like? That, without them being as transparent, which makes it, I think, to me funnier, is exactly like Charlotte.
It's a Charlotte storyline, yeah.
But they don't admit that it's Charlotte, or that they are that, geared towards Charlotte and whatnot, and giving her favoritism. So when they're doing it on purpose with Theory,
it's funny.
Yeah, I love it. The biggest thing I don't get is from SmackDown how Corbin won that Battle Royal, and it meant nothing.
Yeah, that was the most confusing part of all of SmackDown is what that Battle Royal was for.
Even the main event. Like, what the
Well, the main event made sense. Someone was trying to get into the match. So why did you have a Battle Royal and then have a main event of a Fatal 4-Way of people in the main event?
And canceled it out. It's like, well, why did you even have the Battle Royal to begin with?
Dude, I was so
what was
confused.
What was the point of Corbin winning it? Like, if anyone else won it that was already in the thing, I'd been like, okay. Like, if Drew won it, I'm like, all right, you're building Drew up, win Money in the Bank, and then, Theory happened. Like, I think that would have been 100 times better, but it's like, all right, Corbin won the Battle Royal, missed out on the Fatal 4-Way, and still didn't make the match.
It was terrible. The whole thing is just horrible to me. I'm like, what is they doing with this shit? And then, for me, I think the perfect thing would have had not Seth Rollins, but Sami Zayn win it. Because I think everybody wanted to see, what are you really going to do?
Yeah, 100%.
Are you really going to sit there and just lay and have that briefcase for a whole year? I don't see that. I don't see that at all. I think that as soon as you get an inkling, that one fucking spot that they both are knocked out and you like, you got your opportunity to be the heavyweight champion. Come on, we all know Sami Zayn was going to do that. He was going to weasel his way in that, and we wanted to see that. I think we were robbed 100%. Of that. We were robbed 100%. Of that, man.
Yeah, I would have loved to see that. Yep. Have Sammy, like, and even, like, cause, excuse me, that's the other thing that's kind of pissing me off is the, how many times they keep mentioning it at SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. Oh, Brock and Roman, like, it's a perfect time, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Yep. Like, I think if Sammy had it, and there was that time where both of them are knocked out, and you see him, like, peeking, like, down the entryway, like...
Yeah.
Should I not? Like, I think that would be great.
Wait, is it the right time?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going. I'm going.
And especially when he was in Money in the Bank, my sons hated it. But when he's, like, hiding behind the turnbuckle...
Yeah.
And he's in the post and he's just hiding there, my sons were like, what is he doing? He's not even in it. Like, they got so upset. I was like, it's so great.
So good.
It's the funniest, man. Everybody else getting thrown around by Omar. He's hiding behind that. something.
Yeah, but that's a good point. We were screwed out of what could have been an amazing Sami Zayn Money in the Bank title reign. And like you said, have him like ringside where he's about to cash in when Brock Lesnar's winning, but then pulls it back and strips it away when Roman starts getting back over. Like, he's trying to get the title off Brock, but not Roman. Like, that would have been fucking great.
It would have been
Yeah, that would have been hysterical. Yeah. I don't think, ultimately, I have an issue with Austin Theory with the Money in the Bank. I do think my preferred would have been Sammy. I do think Riddle would totally have made sense. I think Seth Rollins is an easy one. I think what we're going to see is... I think this Money in the Bank run is going to make or break Austin Theory. This is what's going to determine if he's a long-term player or not. He's either going to fall on his face at some point here because of something, or he's going to win a lot of people over. That's how I feel about it. And I have no idea. I'm nobody. I'm a drunk on YouTube. So, but that's what I feel. Twycon says, I like face Bobby. I think Theory removed all drama from the match because to me it was obvious he was winning. They're not adding him to lose is how my mind went. I felt like that a lot too. I felt like, oh, Theory's definitely winning. They put him in last second.
Yeah.
But you had a lot of people in there who could have walked away easily and it wouldn't have hurt Theory. Which was the only thing I hung on to. And then Taekwon does say, Theory is if Drew McIntyre as Vince's chosen one fully took off. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
But
That's true.
I think he's doing the job. Like, he's getting enough people hating him, which is what he's supposed to do, right? Like,
yeah, I heard a lot of people said they're so pissed that Theory won, and I was all like, then mission accomplished, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, producer lady, you know me. I love the heels. I love all heels, right? I can't stand Theory. So you know, like you are doing something like, oh my god, like, for me not to like you, like, oh my gosh.
That just means he's that good of a heel.
He's the best heel in the roster.
He's a bit extra.
Heel of all time in my book.
He's a bit extra. Yeah, definitely.
Well, see, the other thing that kind of pissed me off too was, so they had, Theory obviously wins Money in the Bank and stuff like that. So I'm thinking the shit between Lashley and Theory is completely done. Mm. And then Monday comes around and they're going to have a match at SummerSlam. And I'm like, well, what the fuck's this for?
Yeah.
If Bobby loses, the U.S. champ looks weak. If Theory loses, the Money in the Bank champ looks weak.
Yep.
Welcome to WWE.
I think they put themselves in a corner with this one immediately, and
I don't understand where they're going here.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was. Yeah, exactly. I don't know where they're going.
That's what I say.
But, well, I mean, we also don't know who else they're bringing in. I mean, they did just bring in Logan Paul, but we don't know who else is getting thrown in the mix down the line.
What do you guys think about what's happening with Judgment Day? I feel like it's off topic, but not exactly off topic, because I feel like that...
That's a good... Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you had the Mysterios come in and beat Judgment Day. Judgment Day with Finn Balor and Damian... Rhea wasn't even there, was she?
Yeah, she was part of it.
She was there. She's part of it, but she wasn't there this week.
Not this, yeah.
So you have Finn Balor and Damian Priest, which should be an absolute dominating tag team, catching fucking no breaks against dudes who've been getting their fucking assholes turned inside out by by Veer.
Although he's another one that hasn't taken off the way that I think they were aiming for.
But it was the matter on how people deal with Eddie Guerrero, so I have no problem with Judgment Day dropping that one.
I think they did it right, and I'm sorry to cut you off. The only thing that I'm pissed off at is that it's like they are fading away, like they're fading off, like they were hot, and now they're fading. That's the only thing. Like what they did this past, that was great because it was in Mysterio's hometown, so they should have won, right? And to show that Dominic is getting better, which he is. Yeah. And then for him to win it in that faction, to give a homage to Eddie Guerrero in that the lie, cheat, steal way. That was a great thing. So to me, the way it happened was great. And then even after the match where they got beat up by Judgment Day, like they did right. But still, it seems like they fading off. Like, and I don't like that.
They've lost like the last 2 or 3 times we've seen. Ever since Finn Balor took over, they're losers. That's what sucks. And I'm just saying, like, that's what's happened.
No, and that's the truth. Yeah, and that sucks.
Yeah, Finn Balor's like, we don't need the dead weight that is Edge.
Right.
But now that we're on top, we're losing it all. Yep.
So I think you did need that weight.
Yeah, hold on. I feel like you made a mistake about the dead weight part.
Right. Is there any possibility of the demon being the thing that makes them bounce back?
All right, so let me give you this one. How about...
Oh, God.
How about
Here comes a bad
all
idea.
3 of them show up as different variations of demon, and we just have the Judgment Demons from here on out. They're always weird face painted up, crawling around. Rhea, Damien...
I mean, I wouldn't hate the Judgment Demons. It sounds like a cool band.
That's a good band. It's punk rock.
Works. Because Rhea, right? Because Rhea, she does put the face paint on and
there
stuff
you go.
like that. She does do that type of stuff. And then you have the demon Finn Balor, so he can go into that mode. And then even Damian Priest, he had his demon mantra to his thing when he was like, "Oh, you don't want to make me angry," type of thing. So, yeah, I think it can work.
It could work. Kev, what do you think? All demon all day?
All demon all day.
Come on, all demon all day, dude.
Okay.
I mean, the demon's like something special, and like I don't care if they eventually use it, or each member uses it, or a variation of it to get over something. But for them just to come out like next Raw like that,
yeah, they look like a Kiss band.
Mm-hmm. A Kiss cover band.
Dude, they did that in WCW. Do you remember the demon? They had a demon that was dressed up like fucking Kiss. That's a great call. Yeah, well, that's probably about right. And they all do slightly different demon makeup, but it's all ours. It'll look like when CM Punk and Sting had the same face paint, but slightly different. Yeah, I can see that for sure. Ridiculous. I was wondering what you guys thought about that, but I'm trying to think of other big notable things. I can start digging in. What do you guys think about Logan Paul being there? Unless there's something else I'm missing you guys wanted to hit on.
Well, just real quick to finish up on Judgment Day, like they need
go ahead.
They need something. They need something to happen dramatically or drastically and quickly, because like you guys did say, they're fading off fast, and I think they need to just go almost like what was the idiots, T-Bar and all them, Retribution.
Retribution.
Like if they just went in and started just beating up random people.
Yep.
They should.
Okay, throw beer in there.
Ibar, they should add him.
T-Bar,
whatever his name.
Yeah. Know that Mace is a maximum male model.
Let's talk that next, dude.
So
I'm
good.
into talking about that next. You in?
Love it.
Marsh loves it.
Yeah. I am into Marseille. I'm into Mansoir. Marche is here for it.
Yeah, and the crowd, we were there live, and the crowd was booing.
They hated
the hell
it.
out of all of it.
I loved it. Made me so happy. I want to know, because me and Producer Lady and Kevlar were there live in the arena for the in-ring
Debut.
sort of debut of Max Dupree. I want to know what Shakes thought. Shakes, give me the shakedown on Max Dupree.
Well, you know what, man? I missed that segment, right?
Oh, no.
I didn't watch that shit.
Here's the thing, though, right? Before I even watched Raw, I seen you tweeting it out about the models, right? So I was looking forward to it, and then I don't know how I even missed it. But to talk about him, though, like I said, man, I think he's like the way he brings everything. I think it's like the Caucasian Rock, right? I think he's like the White Rock, and I love his delivery when he brings. You know, he just has it. You know, certain people have it, and like
Yes.
he has it.
Yes.
You know what I mean, as far as on the mic and personality wise, he just has it. So I'm impressed by him. I didn't like him at first. Like, he did get on my nerves. It was irritating, but like he grew on me when he was in NXT. Like I really started like I hated him in TNA, right? He was in TNA.
Yeah.
I hated him then. Yeah, but NXT he grew up. And T-Bar is a part of the Maximum Models?
Not yet. Mace and Mansoor. Okay. Mace goes by Mace.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mansoor was Mansoir.
Which is...
And Marsh is now Marche.
Okay.
Marche.
I was just real happy to see those guys brought in the fold because we think they're both great, but for whatever reason, they've been falling flat with every creative creative story they're trying to put together.
Yes.
And we don't really understand why, because they're both great. They're super athletic.
Yep.
Like, I think they're both good on the mic.
They both have great hair, notably.
Good hair. Like, so
I'm
models. Which is why I'm super super excited that they have Dupree because they got a great.
Yeah. Dupree's a mouthpiece? Come on.
Yeah.
Kev, I know that you haven't seen a ton of the former Eli Drake. You saw none of the LA Knight run, I don't think. Maybe a match or two here and there.
Yeah,
what did you think of the Max Male Model Max Dupree presentation that you got to see live in the arena?
Oh, it was terrible. That's what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, dude. Did you hear that crowd?
What I'm looking at... Oh, yeah. What I'm looking at now is you always hear about, you know, people getting bad gimmicks and stuff like that, but the ones that actually do well at it, and I think that's who Max Dupree is, that he's doing well at a bad gimmick. Like, I think they're gonna, you know, it's showing his worth and what he will do after this, because this isn't gonna last too long.
So basically, you saying whatever he do is gold.
Yeah, he got the Midas touch.
Yes, it's incredible. Here's the other thing: when LA Knight showed up into NXT, the NXT crowd was not having it. They're like, "You're not one of ours," especially because it was during the Black and Gold thing and really close to the transition of 2.0. They're like, "You're not one of ours. You are just some sort of Baby Rock wannabe." You know what I mean? As much people call Ricky Starks a Baby Rock because he looks similar. If you look at Max Dupree or the former LA Knight or Eli Drake, he's got similar things, right? They were not having it. By the end of LA Knight's run, that last run he had with, who was it, Dolph Ziggler?
You gotta also think real quick, like, that reaction was a lot to do with, like, a lot of TNA guys was jumping ship at that time because TNA was going down, it was going under. You know what I mean? So that's when you got Rude that came through, Drew McIntyre came back, Samoa Joe. So all these guys were starting to migrate to NXT, and then including him, right? So, like you were saying, it was like, you're a TNA guy. You're not one of us. You're a TNA guy. And usually the TNA guys, they ain't stay that long. They stayed. They got the title maybe a month, and then they were gone. McIntyre, he went right back to the main roster. So, I think that's why it was that reaction. Like, okay, you're not one of us. You're a TNA guy, and you're going to be gone by drop of a dime, and we ain't going to really get to know who you are. But instead, they did different, and they got we got to know who the hell he was, and he won me over. So,
dude, the way so I've seen him in NWA and NXT. I didn't watch him in Impact, but watching him turn the crowd around was incredible in NXT. He went from him basically saying, like, fuck you guys for not cheering for me, to having to lean into the fact that they were just cheering for him so much. It was amazing. That dude has it on a high level. I think when people try to compare him to, like, The Rock and such in a shitty way, I think that they're neglecting the fact that you're comparing him because that charisma feeling is similar. Like, he's got a high-level charisma that is undeniable. And I can't wait to see what happens in a year. That dude, it's so easy to hate him. Dude, one look at him and you're like, fuck that dude who's never struggled a day in his life. That dude was probably given a Mustang at birth. You know what I mean?
It's his face, man.
Yeah. Dude, it's his face, it's his look, his demeanor. There was a guy, I work at a cigar shop once a week, and there was a dude who came in to sell something. He pulled up in a Maserati that was dirty as shit. And I made a joke about how fast his car was, and he goes, that's my everyday drive. It's not my nice car. And I was like, you can fucking leave now. You know what I mean? That's a Max Dupree shit. Like, boo you. Your Maserati is your everyday car. That's your ride around town car. Fuck off. Like, I can't wait to see what happens in a year.
Have great lives, man.
Yeah, amazing. And Taekwon in the chat says they made an official website for Maximum Male Models, which is true. I looked it up. I tweeted it out. It's incredible. MaximumMaleModels.com. Fucking fantastic. He also, Taekwon in the chat does say that Judgment Day is looking like Hot Topic Retribution based on this booking. I hate when they're right. But yeah, because the James Storm NXT run was like 2 weeks. Here's the real sad part about the James Storm NXT run was the pandemic stopped him from getting the full contract. They were ready to sign him. He was done. They like signed him, and all they had to do was like stamp it. And basically, pandemic happened. They said, "Well, we're gonna run with what we got." And he's the one talent I know specifically was screwed over by pandemic. That I don't know about other people, but specifically, he was supposed to have a run in NXT that got canceled because of pandemic, and that fucking sucks, dude. James Storm is so good. Oh, this is interesting. Just factoid real quick. It's been 72 days since male wrestlers main evented an episode of Raw. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so the past several weeks has been the women's main event. So, notable and clappable, because you motherfuckers want to time the Queen's Crown tournament and say the women don't get the time they deserve, and I agree they could always have more time, but you same motherfuckers don't want to clap and say how many minutes they get when they get a half an hour, how many times they get a main event. Did anyone notice that Money in the Bank was 50-50 booking? You had the exact same number of women's matches as you had men's matches.
No, because then the IWC complains that it's not their favorites. Well, I don't love this person. I'm not their stan. And it's like, come on, can we stop?
We need to have progression one way or another. We need to celebrate when they're doing it right. If we have the energy to shit on them when they do it wrong, then you have the energy to clap when they do it right. And the fucking Money in the Bank pay-per-view was 50-50. Exact same number of women's matches as men's matches. For the past, it sounds like 4 weeks, you have women's main eventing Raw. And those same people who were super fucking vocal about a 10-minute overall Queen's Crown tournament, which could have been done better by every means. This isn't to say they did it right. It's to say that they've done other things right since. If you can be so goddamn vocal about how they fucked up the Queen's Tournament, then get real fucking loud about all their main event women's matches, about their 50-50 booking with the women's and the men's, but it's real fucking chirpy over there with all the crickets around those fucking newsletters that want to be fucking edgy when it's real convenient for their clicks.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, Sean Ross.
Okay. All right.
Not to mention any names.
Not to drop any names.
Okay. Okay.
It's funny. We have mutual friends, and I even thought if I walked into a room and having lunch, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna have lunch with a friend," and it was him, I fucking would leave.
Okay. All right. Well,
mark my words, you'll never find a picture of me and Sean Ross Sapp together.
Okay. Well,
That's not ironic. If I did it, it'll be funny.
Okay, we move on. Moving on.
We're just drunks on YouTube. We don't mean anything. We don't matter, and it's fine. Taekwondo says, we got to shit on these AEW fans complaining about the women's booking, but taking a piss break during their matches. We'll give you there. He goes, I forgot the Queen's Tournament happened. Yeah, the Queen's Crown Tournament happened, and it was... The finale was great. It was done poorly to get there. I think that Zelina did a lot of great shit with it, and I think she can still continue to do so. But, moving on... What else fucking happened this week? Right? Go ahead. What do you got, Shakes?
Just a random thought.
Hit it.
We haven't heard nothing else about the Owen Hart tournament winners. Nothing. They didn't celebrate them. They didn't give them a parade or nothing. They didn't give them a trophy. Not a pat on the back. Nothing. I ain't seen nothing.
They gave them the same belt that they gave Braun for winning the greatest Royal Rumble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When Braun won the greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, they gave him some green title that they never mentioned again. That's exactly what's happened with the Owen Hart tournament. Yeah. You're right. The Owen Hart tournament is the greatest Royal Rumble tournament. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like who? Rest in peace, Owen Hart. I can't believe they did that to you.
I can't believe they did that to you. Yeah, where's that hashtag? Owens deserves better.
They do, right?
All right.
Well, I'm a little bummed you didn't see the Max Dupree segment because I loved it.
Yeah.
And that dude gets fucking heat. He gets mad heat. Let's see. Logan Paul was signed by WWE.
Yep.
Anybody have any thoughts on that other than I thought, all right, I guess we'll see him in a couple more matches? I mean, he did great at Mania. We mentioned it.
I was going to say, I'm okay with it. Yeah. Like, if he...
Perfect. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think if he trains hard and, and it looks like he's been, working with some wrestling trainers and stuff like that, I think it could be awesome. And plus, it's bringing a lot more eyes onto WWE again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what the picture that he put up where he was like, I'm coming for you, Miz, like the highest, most likes. Yeah, most liked on Instagram or something like that.
Yeah, I was guessing, okay, great, we're going to see him on Raw, so...
I mean, I think it's perfect. I think it's a match made in heaven, because WWE is all about promotion. He's all about promotion. So it just works. And it would have been, what are they doing if he didn't have any wrestling skills? Like, what he showed at WrestleMania, he was like, okay.
Yeah.
I can see him doing this on the regular.
Yeah.
So it made sense.
Yeah.
Because, it was the same with Bad Bunny, where...
Yeah.
Right?
When they were saying he's going to do it,
I was
I'm
actually
like...
impressed by Bad Bunny. I was like, what?
I was too,
Where this came from? But, yeah.
But, yeah, when they announced that Bad Bunny was going to do it, I was like, oh, come on. This is dumb. And then I was like, all right, he did what he did. And even same thing with Logan Paul. When they first announced, that he was going to be in WWE or, he was just a special guest at the time. But actually when he had his WrestleMania match, I was like, all right, there's some talent behind there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we mentioned at the time it was kind of crazy that Logan Paul had such a good wrestling match. By the way, in my glass, I'm having a Broken Skull American Lager. So cheers to you. We're talking WrestleMania, might as well. But it is in my IPA koozie, so don't be confused. Yeah, it was. We talked about at the time that it was like as we were watching Logan Paul. I mean, I know me and Beard and Amanda were in a live watch all the time. About halfway through the match, we said, "Holy shit! Has anyone else noticed? This is just a fucking wrestling match. This isn't a celebrity match. It's just a wrestling match, and that's what makes it so special." So having him there, I think, is awesome. For whatever reason, most likely the reason being because I'm stupid, is that it didn't really hit me until you kind of said it the way you said it, Shakes. Logan Paul versus The Miz? We're talking reality star versus YouTube star. And somehow it's all happening in the middle of the WWE. You know what I mean? Like, The Miz is there because of the real world. And Logan's there because of YouTube.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's
like, this
so
is a
annoying.
match made in heavy in so many ways.
It is perfect. It's perfect. Promo.
Yeah.
Promo.
It's like there's no one to cheer here, right?
That's a good point. I don't like any of them.
It's like Dominic Conglomerate versus Dominic Conglomerate.
And they're not even on SmackDown, so I can't just root for commentary.
No.
I guess I'll root for Corey Graves
yeah.
on this one. Sometimes I'll just root for commentary to say good shit. You know what I mean? Corey's going to be my pick for this match. This is a fun one. Twyquan Mills. Does anybody know this guy? He's like blowing up our chat, and I love it. And I just don't know if he's come from one of our...
I don't know.
I have no idea who this guy is, but
Sorry.
I love him. Yeah, shout outs to our fucking new drinking buddy. So, yeah, have a drink with us, buddy. MsAmandaJayne coming through saying hi. And then Shakes, you'll be seeing MsAmandaJayne tomorrow, I'm sure. He says, Owen Hart tournament winners got title and trophy. At least Owen is going to be playable in an AEW game whenever the hell that comes out. You can't give AEW props for putting Owen Hart in a game when his family has literally refused to allow him to put in the games in the past. It's not that AEW is doing something that wasn't possible before. It's that his wife is allowing them to use him to,
yeah.
I don't want to say extort. What's the other word for taking advantage of somebody's legacy when it's not your own? I don't remember what it is.
Extortion.
Yeah, it's what they say. The same thing they do to the little kid. You're taking advantage of somebody else and their tragedy for your own benefit. That's what's happening there. So don't give them props for that. But it is going to be fun to play Owen Hart against all of the old WWE legends that he may have been in the ring with at some point in the past because they only book the old ones anyways. But he does say favorite and least favorite celebrity match in wrestling. I think it's a good question. Do you have a favorite and least favorite celebrity match, Kev?
Kind of put on the spot here.
We can come back to it. Did you try to sign in Twitch?
I mean... Mm-hmm. I think, truthfully, recently, I want to say it was probably either Bad Bunny or Logan Paul. Like, they actually, performed and did well. Where most of the time you see a celebrity and it's like, you can tell they're not there.
Yeah.
But they don't have any skills or,
Which one was mine?
Yeah, what's yours?
David Arquette.
As your favorite or least favorite?
Yeah, no, it was my favorite because he looked so uncoordinated. It just looked so bad. Like, it just looked so bad, man. It was entertaining.
Wait, which Arquette match, though? Because MsAmandaJayne brings up a good point. Her favorite is Arquette versus Gage.
Yeah, the one with the 3-tier cages.
Oh, okay, the Ready to Rumble match that they did in WCW with Jarrett and them. Yeah, that was a good one.
And that's the one he won the title, right?
He won the title, yeah. He's WCW World Champion. That's a good one.
David Arquette, World Champion.
Dude, to be honest, I remember as a kid really loving Jay Leno and Karl Malone against Rodman and Hogan. And I had for so long, I kept my Jay Leno WCW card. They made a trading card of him. And because I'm a dumb person, I couldn't figure out how do you send that to the
the studio to have it signed and sent back, which you can do. But I kept trying to figure out how to do that and was just not smart enough to figure it out. But I had it for so long because I was like, a Jay Leno trading card with WCW on it is everything to me. Yeah, I mean, when I try to think of celebrities outside of that, because that was the first one for me as a kid that I was like, this is incredible. Other ones have just been fun to happen here and there. I mean, I like Chuck Norris giving Jeff Jarrett a kick to the fucking face. Taekwon says,
Mr. T and
oh yeah,
T and Hulk Hogan.
Mr. T and Roddy Piper, the boxing match was wild. There was just so many neat things they've done with celebrities, man.
Zeus, Zeus, rest in peace.
Zeus is
Tebow.
badass. Yeah.
Tiny listed.
I remember RoboCop and Sting.
Yeah. Now, a celebrity versus celebrity match, though. We've had Rock versus Cena.
You're funny.
I don't. Gosh, I'm trying to remember.
See, I
who
was
was
thinking
it?
more of like actual entertaining match, not just
Yeah.
for what it was.
Yeah.
Who was it that cosplayed
Mayweather
Drew
versus
McIntyre
Big
for
Show.
the holidays?
Oh, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, who was it? It was Santa Claus.
It was the Santa Claus kid, Bernard.
Bernard, yeah.
Yeah, so Drew McIntyre was a good one.
That was a great one. It's ridiculous.
See, Twyquan says Pac-Man Jones in TNA is my worst. NFL wouldn't let him wrestle, so TNA put him in a tag match with R-Truth, gave them tag titles, but Truth had to work the whole match alone while Pac-Man Jones stayed on the apron. That's pretty fucking cool. I like that.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Really?
I remember that too.
Yeah.
And
And Timmy
like,
Poker
Floyd
is coming back
Mayweather
to-
and Big Show though, man, that was.
That was awful. You're right. That was the worst. Because Mayweather getting a knockout punch on Big Show has made me mad for decades.
Well, it's because Big Show had the dumb knockout punch thing that I don't like with Lacey Evans.
But it makes sense
Show's
with Big
at least-
Show because he's 700
Well, exactly.
pounds.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say. It makes sense for him, but it's still just a stupid wrestling move.
And I'll give you that for sure.
What about Tyson?
It's
and
an easy
DX?
1, 2, 3 though. That's all you gotta do. Hit him one time.
Tyson
1,
DX was
2,
slick though.
3. It's over.
Yeah, because Tyson had a believable knockout punch on somebody. Because he could knock out. The idea that Tyson could punch Shawn Michaels in the face and knock him out was believable. The idea that Floyd Mayweather could punch as hard as he could on Big Show and knock him out was not believable.
Exactly. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, because Mike Tyson had that punch that you just thought, like, if he clicked the right person the right time, that he could knock anyone out.
it's over.
Has Mayweather ever beat someone by knockout?
I don't know. I mean, well, he did, but that ain't
Yeah.
his mantra. That ain't his mantra.
Ain't his mantra. It's not what he lives by, for sure.
Does Pat McAfee still count as a celebrity?
Yeah, I was impressed by him too.
I mean, I got the pencil, so yeah. He whatever you need him to be, I'm gonna go ahead and clear it.
Even though I want to see him get his ass kicked now, cause it's like he, you know what I mean? He won a match and now he's smelling his drawers and now he wanna challenge everybody like, oh yeah, come get this ass whooping. Okay.
He got his ass kicked by Vince McMahon. He lost to Vince McMahon.
Exactly right. Come on. But nah, seriously, man, I want to see Baron Corbin fuck him up. Come on, this is the Golden Glove dude, bro. All right, this is a Golden Glove boxer.
That's a good point.
Right?
Yeah,
I
that's a
wanna
good
see him
point.
fuck him up, bro.
That's a good point.
Humble you.
Yeah. And we'll wrap up the show with this. Let's talk a little bit about McAfee and Corbin. They had their back and forth. They've had their moments. We are building McAfee Corbin on SummerSlam. To me, it's two of my absolute favorites right now. As much as Pat McAfee is regaled and as much as Corbin is absolutely hated, I still don't think those dudes quite get the recognition that they probably will get in their retirement years. I think people are going to talk about them for decades. I think guys like Corbin are the backbone of what this industry is. I think that Pat McAfee is the backbone of what the industry has become. To me, this is like a clash of two amazing things. You have a classic wrestler
style versus a classic celebrity who can hold his own. This is awesome to me. I think it's so fucking cool. Taekwon also mentions that Cole whooped McAfee's ass in NXT. Here's the weird part about that. No one remembers that Cole was in the match. I know a lot of people who talk about that match and talk about how cool it was that McAfee won. People I know who've seen the match, they said how great it was that McAfee beat Cole. You said that, and you watched it.
Yeah.
McAfee was so impressive in that match that no one remembers that Adam Cole did anything or actually won the match. That's notable. TV Poker in the chat saying that, how's it been going? Glad to have you back. Best damn stream on Twitch. Thank you, man. He does say, cheers to TP Poker. TP Poker! He does say, Big Show's 500 pounds, Mayweather's 170 pounds. It's a lot to punch. And he says, Mayweather has had many KO victories. KOs or TKOs? Look it up. But any thoughts on the McAfee? Yeah, it's definitely not his mantra at the end of the day. Shakes, we'll start with you. Any thoughts on Corbin McAfee building to SummerSlam?
Yeah, man. No, like I said, I want like it seeming like what did he say? McAfee said, let me humble you, boy. I think it's the other way around, man, because I think you're smelling yourself, man. I think, you know what I mean? Yeah, you was impressive, and yeah, you got your one victory, and that's great. Now you think you're going to take on the world? Oh, nah, man. I want to see Baron Corbin fuck him up. And I mean fuck him up. And the thing about it is what's so great is that Baron Corbin is not the type of wrestler that's going to give you no easy dub and just put you over. Like, Baron Corbin is the wrestler that is going to beat up your favorite wrestler. That's who Baron Corbin is.
Yes.
So I am so interested to see it, and I can't wait to see Baron Corbin beat Pat McAfee's ass and have McAfee finally humbled and say, okay, you good at being a wrestler, but you're not a wrestler.
Yes.
It's a difference.
Yo. Kev, thoughts? Corbin McAfee?
I mean, I definitely get where Shakes is coming from on that. Like, stay in your lane type of thing. Like, relax, do what you're good at. But, I'm interested in it, and I don't know. I think it's whenever you can get interested and look forward to I don't even want to say a mid-card match. I don't even know what to kind of call it. But,
spectacle.
That says something.
An attraction match?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm super excited for it. I'm into it. These two dudes are incredible at what they do. Long-term storytelling. They were fucking roommates like 20 years ago. I think if we can give AEW credit for having long-term storytelling when they just forgot to tell the story for 6 months and picked it back up, then we could definitely give WWE credit for storytelling when they weren't involved to begin with anyways. But we can talk some shit on that tomorrow. I do have anything else you guys wanted to say about anything going
on? I thought it was cool that Adesanya came out to the Undertaker's entrance.
Yeah, and at the end of Money in the Bank, it wasn't the end of Money in the Bank. Corbin came out and attacked Pat McAfee, and McAfee showed up at UFC with a neck brace on, very a la Andy Kaufman. Very cool. And yeah, the Undertaker thing happened. I think that was because of CEO Stephanie McMahon's doing. I don't think it had anything to do with Vince.
Yeah, I do think it was funny that you had all those idiots on Twitter and stuff like that talking about Money in Bank was so bad that, they all left to go to UFC instead.
That was funny. That was funny.
I'm going to say this one last thing, and it's kind of a cry me a river type of thing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away that I do like when I see it, I still feel bad, right?
Yeah.
Like the R-Truth thing, man. You know.
Oh.
Listen, right? Like they do so much with him, and they let him go creatively, and that's awesome and all that. But it's like, man, R-Truth can really go in the ring, man. Like he really can go, and they
it's insane.
Don't show it. Like they like, no,
I don't.
Just be a clown, and now he's Uncle Sam. I mean,
are we? I mean, I agree because I remember, like, when I did see old R-Truth, like his old matches, I was just like, what the hell? Like, why aren't we seeing that? Yeah. So part of me wonders if he actually wants to, like, just have fun and do whatever he wants, because, like, I could kind of see that, you know, because he's had his time, he's had his titles, right? So maybe, like, is it possible he just wants to let all the other younger talent, like, have their moments and build them up and stuff, and just have fun and still be there?
That's true. He built up Gunther real good in this one. Go ahead,
oh
Bev.
My
I want to hear from you.
Wait, I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
R-Truth?
R-Truth came out dressed up as Uncle Sam, and Gunther came out and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
Oh, okay.
Did you watch Hulu? Oh, they cut it.
Damn it.
So yeah, R-Truth came out dressed up as Uncle Sam. He was doing kind of a comedy bit. Gunther came out, beat the shit out of him. It was USA versus Gunther. It was pretty funny. But here's what I'll say about it. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, to me, like, with R-Truth, like, obviously I didn't see the segment, but if he was, like, making a mockery out of Uncle Sam and stuff like that, and it being a comedy thing, then American should have been out there kicking his ass.
He wasn't. He wasn't making a mockery of him.
No,
he was embracing Uncle Sam, which was the best part.
I'm Uncle Sam, y'all like
yeah.
Uncle Sam was like Santa Claus to somebody, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is funny because at the live event, they were really hyping up USA. Like,
America versus. Yeah.
It was America versus Gunther, basically.
Yeah, it was incredible at the live event.
Yeah, the live event, like, man, we weren't a huge crowd, but we were loud, and you heard nothing but USA chants. Like, it was pretty wild.
It was fucking funny. Here's the other deal. Here's what I want to say, because I don't know how much time Shake's got left here. But we're going to wrap up here shortly.
Sorry.
If you ever are wondering the mindset of R-Truth, because I agree with you, this dude could be main event next week, and he would fit. You could put him in the main event of SummerSlam against Roman Reigns, and you go, "This is stupid. It makes no sense." But then once the match got going, you'd go, "Oh, yeah, I forgot this is R-Truth, right? Yeah. This is former NWA champion for a goddamn reason." Mm-hmm. He does come off pretty clownish and jokey. If you watch I believe it was the Chronicle or 24/7 or something like that about R-Truth, he goes pretty far in deep about his story. If you just find interviews, if you go back and find Sam Roberts interviewed R-Truth, I think 2 different times, the way he appreciates where his spot is and how much he appreciates what the company's done for him and what the industry's done for him. He came out of prison and found himself in wrestling because of, God, I want to say it was Bill Watts, but I know that's fucking wrong. It was somebody in the southern side of wrestling got him into wrestling because of, like, they shared a cell or some bullshit. It was fucking crazy. But that dude appreciates so much of what wrestling's given to him that in his mind, so far as we've seen in the peek behind, he's giving back in every way. Having this level of longevity, having this sense of purpose, being able to make Vince McMahon laugh so much that Vince just gives him 20 minutes to go out there and be goofy. Like, I don't think that, and I'm nobody, I don't think that R-Truth looks at that time as negative and I'm a clown for no reason. I get the impression that he looks at this as another opportunity to give back to the industry that's given him his life back. And I think that's the impression I get when I watch him too, is that he's able to entertain on a high level. He can make everyone laugh in that arena, and not everyone can do that. I've been to stand-up comedy shows with 100 people or less in the audience and the guy on stage who's tasked with doing it can't do it. R-Truth goes out there and he goes, what do you got, 10,000, 100,000? I'll get him going. Like, he knows what he can give, and he's happy to do it. Yes, I want to see him in the main event because he can do it. But at the end of the day, 100% of the time R-Truth is on TV, I love it because I think that he loves it in every way, and I think it comes across. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes I see him come out and I go, oh, come on.
Yeah. But I mean, like, because I remember him, you know, TNA, WCW, like, I'm trying to remember his other names. I know he was K-Quick and stuff like that, but
Ron Killens and TNA.
Yeah. Dude's awesome. Like, he's
amazing.
Like you said, you can put him in anywhere, and, like, he'll fit in, and yeah, I mean, it sucks that he doesn't get, the love that he should, but he just goes out there, does his job, and, you know, loves it.
Yeah. He's beloved and still could be loved more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right. It was Crockett. It was Jack Crockett who got him into wrestling. Good call on Kevlar sending me that. No, you could also just say it on the air, dude.
If you guys are talking, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, you can just say it. You can say, oh, I found it. That's the point.
Found it.
But yeah, find the special on Peacock, find the Sam Roberts interview, and then suddenly find yourself more in love with R-Truth than you thought you could be. It's wild. It's wild how much you can... I remember when I watched that documentary they did on him and thinking like, oh, this will be cool. He has a very fascinating story. I've heard about it before. And watching it play out, I'm finding myself sitting there crying. Like, why is this hitting me so hard? I've never been to prison. Like,
well,
we didn't grow up the same way. Why do I feel like I know his struggle? We're not the same. You know what I mean? Like, but he connects that wide.
That sympathy, man. You got sympathy, and you can feel.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I've never been to prison either, but I can feel for that man. You know.
Yeah.
If I was put in that situation, how would I, deal with it, or how would I go through it, and to see that he made something of himself that many other people would have went the other way. You know.
Yeah.
Shouts to R-Truth.
Dude, if you haven't seen it, check it out because there's the part where he goes back to his childhood home.
Yeah.
And there's a family in there, and they just come out, and they're like, "Oh shit! Like, why is R-Truth here?" He's like, I grew up in your house, and then he just spends the day with them. Like, what the fuck? Like, you could have just kept walking, you know? Like,
Right?
yeah, he's just an amazing human being on all fronts, and yeah.
But
I agree with you. One more title reign, I'm in.
Shouts to R-Truth Killings.
Yeah. Anything else about anything that you thought we missed, Kev? I mean, just in general, we could just say flat out, Tucson show was incredible. I love the live events. If you guys haven't been to a WWE live event in your town, and it's not televised, just go.
Yeah, and I said it. I've been saying it for a while. I honestly feel like they're doing more at live events, and not just like SmackDowns, not just the big events, but like the live events that aren't televised. I just feel like the talent seems to be really appreciative. For instance, when I think it was it. Which show was it where Xavier went and ran out in the crowd?
SmackDown during commercials.
Yeah.
Before, like, you know how they came out during the commercial break, or right before the commercial break, Woods and Kofi come out to the ring, then it cuts to commercial, they're back in the ring. Well, that whole commercial break, Xavier Woods jumped a barricade and started running around through the crowd. The security on the other side of the ring saw it and went, "Oh, shit!" and ran and tried to, like, catch him. Go ahead, Kev.
They were pissed.
Yes.
Yeah, but he was...
It was amazing.
He was just showing all the fans some love, and it's just like...
Just loving on the fans. That's why when they came back, the fans were just like, "That's our guy!" Because, like, yeah, he was out here.
It's amazing. You notice he doesn't have a shirt on. Like, he came out with a shirt on, then did that, and he gave his shirt to somebody. Yeah. And then he was having trouble getting his vest back on, and Kofi helped him at the last second.
Yeah.
And then he's just standing there with the mic.
Yeah.
Does his thing. It was great.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Go to a live show. Go to all the wrestling live shows that you can.
Yeah, I mean, Pat was, like, going up to all the folks in the crowd, like, you know, with what little time he had, and it was just like, these guys don't need to be doing this kind of stuff. Like, we've already paid.
We even heard from one of the stagehands. Somebody after the show said, hey, he was wearing a For the Brand sweater. And he goes, hey, and he held out a marker. He goes, do you think you could run in the back and get Pat to sign this? And he goes, dude, at this point, Pat's already at his plane, but if you had asked me earlier, absolutely I could have. Pat loves that shit. So if you're in like the first 2 or 3 rows and you got Pat McAfee merch and a marker, hand it to a stagehand and ask if Pat will sign it, because he fucking will. And I wish I'd known that before I went, because I got 7 fucking McAfee shirts back there and 0 Roman Reigns shirts. You know what I mean? Like, I fucking, McAfee's the dude.
Oh, and then at the live event, like, MVP was hilarious. He was like
telling off those kids.
Yeah, well, at first, everyone was cheering for him because we love MVP, and he was like, all right, I appreciate you guys, but, and then he just went into all these, like...
Yeah, I wish I could tell you how much I appreciate you chanting, but I have to be stuck in this stupid fucking town. I like how he said Arizona's just as dry as your women.
I was like, what the... And everyone just went, whoa.
Yeah, I was like, God damn.
He went from thanks for cheering, now let me do my job.
Yeah. Gotta get to work.
Yeah, like...
Supposed to be a heel here, guys.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, everyone was great. Like, I just feel like they're doing a bit more at these live events, and they're really making it feel like you're going to a show, and shit, we forgot, like, what time it was at one point. I was like, damn, this show went by fast.
Dude, SmackDown sucked in the idea that we were going to go to the concessions and get some merch and stuff.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, me and Kev looked and we said, oh my God, the main event's coming out. We better run now before they close up altogether.
Yeah.
We ran up there. Concessions was closed, and we went to the merch stand real quick and grabbed some stuff. He got that badass shirt he's wearing now. Got me a foam finger, which is in the car. I still haven't brought it in. Otherwise, I'd be fucking holding up my bloodline. Dude, Shakes, you'd love it. The bloodline... We the Ones finger. Oh, I got one, dude.
Yeah.
I got one, dude. But it was amazing because it flew by so fast that we said, "Oh shit, it's about to close. We better go get something."
And also, just props to all the talent that had this crazy schedule this weekend. Like, insane.
Dude, Phoenix, Vegas, Tucson, San Diego. Becky Lynch did all of those. If you watch the show, Becky went to Phoenix, Becky went to Vegas, Becky went to Tucson, and then she showed up in San Diego the next day. That's a hell of a lot of drive and not a lot of sleep.
Also, props to Carmella.
Carmella did the same fucking track. I'm just saying a few of these people, if you look, they did the whole fucking road.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah, fucking insane.
Like, how are they awake and alert enough to be this good still?
And taking care of a baby on the side. Like, Becky's all like, I'll take care of a baby and travel the road. Like, fuck, it was insane. So props to them.
They get paid the big bucks.
That's why they get paid the big bucks. I do want to give a quick shout out and a cheers to Charles Robinson. Got to see him a little during the show. Shares a birthday with me. I saw him after SmackDown, and he signed a jersey for me. So I have a ref shirt signed now by Tommy Young and Charles Robinson.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get a couple more legends on there. So shout out and thanks to him, and a happy birthday to him as well. Anything else you guys want to say before we do last call and wrap it up?
My birthday was Saturday, so happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Wait, Saturday was the 2nd.
You guys have the
Shakes.
same birthday.
We have the same birthday.
Yeah.
Mine,
And happy birthday
happy
to Marsh.
birthday to Shakes, dude. Shakes, Marsh, Robinson, Bret Hart, and Scotty 2 Hotty, dude. What a bunch of legends on one birthday.
Crazy.
One day. It's a great day.
Damn.
And we just found out, for one, Robinson was signed with WWE July 2nd, 2001. Liv was signed in WWE July 2nd, 2014. So it was actually 8 years, not 6. And she won the world title and Money in the Bank July 2nd, 2022. July 2nd is a good day to be a wrestling fan. You get Robinson, Bret Hart, Scotty 2 Hotty, Liv Morgan, Shakes, and Ref Marsh. Like, that's not bad at all.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Happy birthday, Shakes. I didn't know we shared the same birthday, but now
Happy
that I know,
Thank you, and likewise.
we'll party next week. Next year, I mean.
Got to be big next year.
Yeah, we're going to do something big next year for sure. Especially you're in Baltimore, yeah? Next year, my birthday, we're going to be in, like, Chicago. So
Ish
we'll
area.
be close.
Hopefully, yeah.
So we're going to have to make something happen.
I got family in Maryland.
Is Baltimore in Maryland?
My God, really?
Is Baltimore in Maryland?
Yes.
Anybody know that? Does anybody know if it's in Maryland or not?
Okay, all right.
So what city
Now
is
you're
your family in?
All right, stop.
What's the city?
I'm not.
You don't know?
You're being dumb right now.
We don't know which city her family lives in Maryland, but they're out there. So we'll go visit her family. I'll visit Shake's.
Okay. You're gonna leave me again?
I'm definitely leaving her with her family. I am not about to spend extra time with her family.
I mean, yeah, my family's pretty crazy. But,
Kev,
all right.
any final thoughts? Anything that we didn't hit that you wanted to hit on?
No.
Kev, thank you so much for coming through and hanging out and having a drink with us. Shakes, anything we missed that you want to talk about?
No, I think I'm good. Covered it all.
I think you're great, and I think that tomorrow night, you, me, AmandaJayne, maybe Clump. If I had to venture a guess, I would say no Clump, based off of a message I have from him today.
Okay.
So you, me, Amanda, we're going to probably be talking a little NXT, a little AEW. We're going to get into the weeds of things, blood and guts. What was the other one? Forbidden Door. We'll see what's going on, man. We're going to have a drink right here in the dive bar of the IWC. Guys, thank you for coming through and having a drink. We'll be back tomorrow night for a brand new episode 1.
Cheers.
Guys, that's the last call.
Cheers.
Continue to support us or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with wrestling on the rocks.